Do you want to see the dumbest game of Zerg versus Zerg ever played? I have got it for you. So, on this map Blackpink, I keep seeing people take hidden bases. So I decided at the start of this match, I'm going to try to do that myself. Oh, this was played while the 20th anniversary celebration was still going on, so there's still all the noises for the units popping, the units getting destroyed, all that stuff. The opponent here seems like a nice person at the start of the game. Just, I don't know, I think there's a CN swing, but hey, what do I know? Just having a nice chat about what's going on, not wasting time on it. You can see me skipping letters because I'm too busy macroing to care. But I try to make a thing that looks like a standard hatch gas pool. Just makes sense on a big map to do in Zerg versus Zerg. But then I try to hide a third base so that my opponent thinks that I have one fewer base than I do. There's not a whole ton at the start of the game, so we'll just fast forward through it. It's all super what you do at the start of Zerg versus Zerg. Put my workers on the gas on time to make sure I have exactly the 100 gas when the spawning pool finishes to start Zergling speed. But once I've done that, I do send a drone out to this very corner base in the top there, because it's not a normally relevant base in Zerg versus Zerg. So I'm going to take one where it's unlikely my opponent will scout. That's just not a realistic base to take at pretty much any time in Zerg versus Zerg. So I hotkey it separately, I keep making the workers there. Eventually I start making units, and that could give a tell where my position is, except I don't know that my opponent ever notices that this game. So I'm just trying to see over here, okay, is my opponent making a whole bunch of Zerglings, or can I just keep making drones? I'll show you what I actually decide here. I decide, okay, make... Nope, got supply blocked on 36 again. Gotta work that out of my game. Oh hey, there's a bunch of Zerglings. Okay, I might need some defensive Zerglings. I might need to make a Baneling nest. Make some spines here, because I have that hidden base, so I just want to make this game go on for as long as I can. I do start a Baneling nest there. Start a Roach Warren. Just all things that will be better if the game goes longer for me. Especially that Roach Warren. I don't really have an idea what my opponent's doing. I did catch that they double expanded there, so I'm like, oh, well, they're not attacking me anytime soon. I might as well take a normal third base too. They'll still think they're a base ahead here. So I got all these Zerglings. Got some crew spread out in front of my base to try to connect things up a little bit. The plan here is going to be to start making some roaches. Get some banelings for safety and then some roaches. Once you get roaches in large enough numbers, they are pretty good against Zerglings, especially if you get the +1 attack, which is the one thing I see I'm really lacking here. I don't have an evolution chamber to start +1 attack for my roaches to make them 2-shot Zerglings. Is that right? It's one fewer shot. I don't remember if it's 4 to 3 or 3 to 2, but it takes one fewer shot for a roach to beat a Zergling. Unless your opponent gets the armor upgrade, which my opponent is doing, I see here, but I did not know that live during the game. See, I just now started +1 attack for the roaches. That could have been started like over a minute ago. But my opponent already has the armor done, so this is actually not a relevant upgrade any longer. Opponent gets up here, brings a whole big ol' mass of Zergling Baneling, so I just want to get my roaches as together as I can to eat all the Baneling hits, not get surrounded by Zerglings if I can avoid it. Okay, that traded for a ton of my opponent's gas. So I was pretty okay with this at this point. I feel like I'm relatively safe. That's a lot of Zerglings, and still some Banelings there. So my opponent does come up here. I think they could have done a better job of getting my mineral line right here. They're still fighting my units when they could be going after my drones. If they went after my drones, I think that might be the end of the game. Fortunately, though, they keep fighting all the random units. The Banelings all blow themselves up on some roaches. So they do eventually end up getting here to my drones, but I managed to run a lot of them. So after this, I'm still up in workers, even though I have lost an entire mineral line's worth. I had 55 drones at one point. My opponent's like, oh good, my opponent's down 15 drones. They thought I only had, you know, 30-ish, because I see I don't really have much at my third base. Like, wiped out my natural line. Don't know I have a whole line going on right over here in the corner of the map with my evolution chamber that's also hidden.
You're under attack. Siege up.
They should be able to click on one of my units and see that I have an upgrade. This would imply they have an evolution chamber somewhere. Just so many Zerglings all the time. I'll put this back to normal game speed now, I guess. But they just keep making Zerglings and Banelings and not doing anything else. I keep making roaches. There's a couple times here where my roaches come in from weird angles, and it should clue my opponent in that they are not coming from the bases that I have only. There's another base that they have not maybe seen. I end up just running out of ability to make roaches, so I have to make some more Zerglings for a bit here. Ideally, I want to maybe remake my Baneling nest and make some of my Zerglings into Banelings. I didn't ever get to do that this game. But we just keep running these Zerglings. Their Zerglings are much better than mine, because my Zerglings have only speed, whereas theirs have the speed upgrade and +1 attack and +1 defense. But I really mostly just want the Zerglings to buy time so I can get more roaches up to get a critical mass. But we both just keep making units and running them into each other, and nobody's really trying to transition past this. I think I do eventually start +2 attack. I'm like, okay, well, they don't seem like they've seen this base in the corner. I guess I'll take another base up here in the corner.
Your forces are taking damage.
If I really did this well, I should have maybe even made another Roach Warren or spawning pool or both in the corner too. Eventually I go over here and take out this mineral line from my opponent, so we're getting to the point that I'm way ahead on workers. But my opponent's making all inexpensive units in terms of total cost. It just does cost kind of a lot of gas for every roach they're destroying there with all those Banelings. But if you're not making anything but Zerglings and Banelings, I guess you have all the gas in the world. So come back. Always during the fight, you do make sure you have your injects done before you watch the fight.
You're under attack. Siege up.
Finally start +2 attack. That could have been done like a whole minute ago, maybe even 2 minutes ago now. Get rid of the queens. My opponent has all these full energy queens, uses exactly 0 transfuses. It's alright. I definitely screwed that up a lot of times when I play too. I'm like, okay, great. I'm going to make some more drones, because I'm a greedy Zerg player. That's all I do. Get up here, I'm like, okay, seem to be winning on this front. Might be time to actually make some more army now. Try to actually finish the game off here. So look how many Banelings that is, and they don't even clean up all my roaches. They clean up like maybe half of them. They just have a lot of hit points. Banelings are not what you want against them.
You're engaging the opponent. We're running out of
Keep coming back to check what's going on at my bases to make sure I still have all the injects up. Okay, I'm going to make some Hydralisks if this keeps going on. If my opponent ever does transition to a different unit set, I will want Hydralisks. But as long as they're continuing with just pure Zergling, Hydralisks are actively not good against Zerglings and Banelings. But it turns out my opponent doesn't transition at all. Says something about keeping dreaming. I don't know, I looked at their rating after the game, it looked similar to mine. It wasn't like they were playing down a division or off racing or anything. It's alright. But at some point you do have to move on from doing nothing but Zerglings. And yeah, look, my opponent doesn't have an Overlord anywhere in this part of the map. So basically I have 2 free bases without my opponent ever seeing them.